Hey, got that just in time.
Yes, we did. How
Yeah.
is everybody today? Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here once again. We're going to finish up what we had started talking about the emotional intelligence. I am Zare, and
Yes.
I am here with Imar,
Excuse me. I'm
and
sorry.
Imar is with me. So, but
Oh,
in taking the journey together, we believe in instilling in people the idea of using a modern way of looking at things and not having to choose between your lover or your friend to become in a long term relationship with. We believe that you should take that friendship, that person that you meet, build on that friendship, build it into a long lasting relationship, make it a committed relationship, and you will then be involved in a relationship with your lover and your friend.
well, we just had a little bit of a trouble. I think we're having a little bit of trouble with our connection for some
Oh.
reason. I don't know if it's a connection on the side of where the server is, which actually is with us right now, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's ours problem with, but a couple of times I saw it, what you call, what's the word I want to use? Not strain, but spool.
Yeah, okay.
And
It was
some,
buffering.
yeah. So that means some of the stuff didn't really actually didn't actually come through because it spooled. But let's hope that we won't have this problem, and we
Yes.
apologize it as we move on. We're looking for our viewers to come in. We're looking for our viewers to come in, and our viewers are nowhere to be found. Come on in, come on in.
Give them time.
Yes, give them
Yes,
time, give them time. Let
they
me
will be popping and hopping.
hop in and let me put up our thing that has to do with having people share alike. Where's that at? Because we want people to share with their
Yes.
friends, share with their family members, share, of course, with your date or your better half or your other half, or you don't know what he is yet or she is yet, but you want you to share that. Hey,
Share it with them.
we used to have a share banner that was up on there. I don't see it anymore. Do you?
Yes,
Eh,
right there. Go down one more.
Is that it?
Yep.
Hey, there it is. There you
Yes.
go. There you go. So please share. And I think we've got some good stuff that we're going to be talking about and
Yes,
continue on.
definitely.
I do want to say that our, what's his name? What's his name?
Dr.
That's all.
Frazier.
Dr. Frazier
That's
is
that's because you're
gone.
doing too many things.
Exactly.
He's not here with us at this time.
And what else?
And so, but we uh, do expect him to be with us in the future. If not today, he may come in later today during the show. Um, so, ooh, this has been quite the week. Quite the week.
Mm-hmm.
School's back in, so everybody has in this area has gone back to school, and it's been wonderful. I hope everybody is having every parent and child is having a good beginning of the new school year. That's always very important. It's especially important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in um, making sure that kids get off to a good start at least, and that's my thing. And I've had a good 2 days
Mm-hmm.
already, and
Well,
that's
why do you think that's happening for you, by the way?
what the good 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of it I think has to do with um, my attitude.
What's your attitude? Gratitude? Attitude of gratitude?
Yes,
You think that's what it is?
I think it is. No,
Mm-hmm.
seriously, my attitude is I'm upbeat. I'm excited. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to it. I think I have gotten away from the idea that I'm only going to be doing it for another year or two, and I have resigned myself
That's
to,
over already.
huh? Yes, I've resigned myself to the idea that I'm going to teach until I wake up one day and say I've had enough. And I still enjoy being in the classroom, and I still look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though as it gets closer to the time for school to begin, I get a little bit of dread. If you notice, I didn't have that much of a dread this year.
No, I really, be honest with you, I see no dreads on you. Really, that hair that you have, that black and gold, silver is in it, looks very pretty. I see no dreads. I would like to get some dreads on here if all possible, but
Okay, you
who
just took
knows?
that conversation to a completely different
Oh, I'm
place.
sorry.
Yeah. So
Did I?
you
Did
did.
did I mess with your thoughts?
No, you didn't, because I'm still feeling really good. And and here's another thing
Mm-hmm.
that I believe has been helping. The
Yeah.
fact that we went from the lessons on the no 50-50 relationship
Mm-hmm.
into the lessons or the principles of um, uh, um, um, emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been working with that, and plus doing some other things
Mm-hmm.
to connect us from the start of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that has to do with my attitude. The
Okay.
fact that I have been able to take the things that we are putting out there as principles that we're teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to take them and bring them home into I guess you could say accentuating them in our daily lives.
Oh, really?
And I think that is making all the difference in my attitude, um, in my stress levels,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. I have been like stressless. I'm kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you know what? We're gonna get this taken care of. It'll be taken care of
Mm-hmm.
in this right time. Um, I um um the what was I saying? Oh yeah, I got caught. I got off. Anyway, what I was saying is, yeah, my blood pressure has been down, and it's because these things that we're implementing have put us on the same page, on an even keel, and things are just moving a lot better. And it's one of the things that I'm realizing, and I'm learning, and I'm working into, is the idea that just because things have been going the same way um, for a long, long time does not mean that you don't need to shift sometimes to bring things more into balance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've been doing, is we've been working to bring things into balance on another level.
Mm-hmm.
We had a balance on this level, but as we tried to or attempted to move to a different level in our relationship and everything, what ended up happening is there was a lack of balance
Mm-hmm.
because of the way we were moving. And so now we are in the process of bringing that back together and getting more balanced. And I feel great. You seem to be feeling much
Busy.
better. Are you
I'm just
always
busy.
busy? You're
Busy
always
most
busy,
of the time.
but you seem to be resting better at night.
I can't. Well, yeah. There's some other reasons why
Yeah,
that's actually happening. I want to get into it, deeply.
yeah.
All personal reasons why, but there's some other reasons
Hmm.
that are happening. Being an older person, I'll just say right now, being an older man, especially an older African American man, check your prostate.
Prostate.
You don't want to. You really want to check that. That's something that is something serious that you need to be looking at in life. Not something that you just want to overlook. I know we don't always like going to the doctor, especially a lot of African American males, but I'm just telling you, this is something outside of colon checking.
Hmm.
You really need to seriously do. But anyway,
Absolutely.
that's what I'm going to say about it for at least right now.
Absolutely. And so we are um, moving in
To
what we
our
feel like
program.
a very good direction
Mm-hmm.
for us. And the good news is we are
You're about almost
experiencing,
100%, and almost about 100%,
yes,
and we're just blowing things out of the water when it comes to
exactly.
covering ourselves in the relationship, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure our emotional intelligence
Mhm.
is at the highest point. And the highest
Yeah.
point doesn't mean we're less sensitive. I'll say it again. Emotional intelligence at its highest. If you want your PhD in emotional intelligence, it's not being desensitive,
Right.
not being not in touch with your emotions. Again, not being not in touch with your emotions.
Yes.
It certainly doesn't mean that you're in touch just with one emotion. You know, that stereotypical emotion, the angry black man or the angry black woman or just the angry man or whatever, or the true sexual sister, if you may want to say. It's not any of those. It has everything to do with you being very in touch with your
Yes,
emotions,
aware
but also
and
in
in
touch
tune.
with the other person's
Exactly.
emotion
Exactly.
in your relationship.
Yeah.
So you both are very much in touch
Mhm.
with your relationships, excuse me, your emotions, and you're able to balance it and work with them. That's what the highest part of emotional intelligence is for us to get to.
And you know, it has felt very good for me to, on my way home,
Mhm.
to call and talk to you and say, "Where are you?" I'm at a, and for me
I said I was at the bar. No, I
to,
didn't.
no,
I didn't say it.
for me to, I would say, well, I'll meet you there.
Oh, okay.
For me to,
And we have too. I went there yesterday. We went to a
yes,
Spanish place, and
that was a couple
and
of days ago.
we were right at the bar too,
Yeah,
wasn't
the
it?
Mexican restaurant.
Exactly. Ate
Yeah,
some good food too there.
but
Hmm.
it feels good to be able to call and say,
Hmm.
I'm at an 80 or I'm at a 90, and I'm leaving work
Hmm.
and I'm still feeling this way, and I've got a smile on my face and
Hmm.
everything is good, and I can't wait to get home to you.
Hmm.
And I'm asking you, okay, so I'm at an 80 or 90, where are you? Because if I'm at an 80 or a 90, I feel like I can compensate,
Hmm.
help you compensate no matter where you are. I feel like that, we can definitely make it to that 100. And so that's always a very, very good thing. So that's how the no 50-50 lesson is working on this. And so now, um, as we move into more information about the emotional intelligence, then that's even better. Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry. I was sending something to our gentleman that works in the background to keep to keep our Black Media up and running, Mr.
mhm.
Julius, and trying to get him to send me some information. He says someplace on this page there's a way that people can give if they want to money. Which we didn't pay attention to. He said we haven't read it, but he says it's someplace on that page
Oh,
they have it up there.
right there,
Where's it at?
right there. You just want to up,
Up.
right there.
What
Down,
hey,
down one.
she has glasses, okay, and I don't, and
There
that's
it
why.
is.
There it is. Julius, you just got my beautiful partner, friend, and sometimes mom, who with her glasses looked at that this morning. I said I didn't see it. You said you should have been looking, should have been reading, and boom, there it is, brother. You got some good points from her. You got some good points from me. I think it's all good when we move forward and do the things that are right and good and uplifting and justice and all that good stuff in the first place. So, hey, look below if you want to donate to our Black Media. We
All
love to have
things
you.
relevant.
Yep, that's where you go to. All Things Relevant on Cash App. Where you're on, where what was the same? We're only here because of you. So support and donate today. I think we're going to use that more often.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
I have never
Julius,
seen it
you need to
before.
put that in
Bold.
green and bold and everything. You think let it flash on
Yes.
the place where we have to choose. Well, at least I do since
Yeah,
I'm running
yeah.
the show.
Make
At the
it
same
make it
time.
flashing so we can
Exactly,
see it. Yeah.
exactly. I hope we're not
No.
getting too much emotional into
Mhm.
this and we're losing our control. I don't think so. I think we're getting emotionally more involved with it because it should be something emotionally that we're
Exactly.
excited about and we're really happy about it in the first place.
Right.
And being able to give back to the community with knowledge that's to do with balance and information and having the vehicle and the platform to be able to do it as African
Yes.
American. That's an exciting thing. And there is a need for us to support one another in this matter, especially today when you hear things that say that when it comes to affirmative action, they're concerned with giving opportunities and chances for people of color, that it does not need it anymore, and we don't want it anymore, and it could be illegal for companies to do that. Man, we have to look at supporting ourselves, have to be open to be able to unite with ourselves because it's coming down to that's what we all have left anyway, and should have been from the beginning,
Mhm.
if you ask me. So you're not going to have that kumbaya moment where, hey, we're all going to be just brothers and sisters. It looks like the younger generation is mostly going down the route of tribes anyway, and the tribes could have any culture, any color in it. It just depends upon if you like me, you're doing nice things for me, you're making me feel like I'm a human being, and that's what we're going to stuck on, and that's what we're moving on. They're not really involved with that other kind of stuff that we grew up with. But this station has given us that opportunity to be able to speak that. This station or this streaming has given us an opportunity to be able to basically speak our truth to power at our younger age and help out the younger folks as they are growing up, because there's nothing new with the sun when it comes to relationships, whether it's the same sex or not. You're still people, and you're going to relate to others, and you're going to have to relate to one another, and you're going to be going through the same kind of circumstances people were from years before, even though outside technology is different. But I guarantee you inside it's going to still be the same as you being a person, being a human being, and learning how to love yourself and learn how to be a friend connected to that other particular part in your life is going to be even that much more important. So we didn't learn, but something we know is very much needed.
Yes.
Am I right?
Exactly. And sometimes we felt that it was important. We felt that it was something that we needed within our lives, within our relationships. But because it was not something that we grew up with, it was not something that we understood, it was not something that had been taught to us and instilled in us. Because of all of that, we had a tendency to shy away from it because it was not comfortable. And now, you know, doing it this way, it is so much better, because if you see it on a platform or something like this, or you hear it on a platform like this, then you know that you're not out there all by yourself, that you're not so different and so unique in your thinking that nobody else will get it, that something may be wrong with you. For
Henry Carr writes last night. Hello, you love black media. We love that. We love it too.
Yes.
We definitely love it too.
We do. So thank you. If you are going to donate and support, thank you. If you're thinking about it, thank you. Go forth and do it.
Yes.
We need the donations, and it's just a wonderful thing.
We've seen him. He's been around for a
Mr.
while.
Ellis, you're back. Thank you. Yes, we love knowing that you're still with us.
Who else do we have?
Bernard
White. I think it was there last time.
Yes.
Because I remember when we were talking to the doc, he came up and said something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, we did
Good to know you're here.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Hello, everyone. David Banner.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. David Banner, got your car showing. You must be a drive guy. Loves cars. Well, I don't know, but glad to see you with our show. Hopefully, you take that information and drive the information in your relationship. Not quick, not too fast, but enough that it does the job. Exactly. Yes. Enough to be able to expand your relationship, because we know some of the stuff we talk about is also in the realm of like a home. It's helping you to remodel it.
Yes.
With a good, firm foundation of friendship. So let's get into what we were talking about before that had to do with emotional intelligence. And we went through the fact that emotional intelligence has to do with awareness, right? And what else?
Yes. And relationship management.
Exactly.
Self-awareness, social awareness, self-regulation.
I think the main important thing is emotional intelligence has to do with emotional management.
Exactly.
Managing your emotions.
Yes.
So you're not always stuck on you're not always stuck on just being a bad, well, for that, I don't know if I can say that. Being a mean smart ass.
Well, you said it anyway.
Oh, I did. Or you're being too fragile on the other side.
Yes.
Okay. And you're doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Emotional management is, in this particular case, is all about being able to find that balance and utilize the right emotion in the appropriate times.
Yes.
I think that's kind of important what we're talking about.
Yes. And you can't beat yourself up too much. As you're learning this process, as you're getting comfortable with this process, you can't beat yourself up too much if you slip back just a little bit. You have to use that as a learning experience and say, what did I miss as I was analyzing where I was?
Yes.
Until you get until you get it down.
True. Very, very true.
And I say that because sometimes people will have a setback and then they'll give it up.
Well, I heard from a young person today I was talking to, very close young person we're working on, because we work with a lot of young people and
Mhm.
stuff that we do.
Yes.
And this one young man who is in between the 27 to 35 range, which is
Mhm.
young to us, basically said that when it came down to um, 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 the emotional concerns in relationships, in so many words, that's really not their concern or their problem. That's somebody else's concern and
Mhm.
somebody else's problem. It's not something that I necessarily, need to be concerned about and be worried about. That's something that they need to deal with on their own and take their responsibility for it. I don't necessarily feel that way about it from that end.
Mhm.
I'm saying that's pretty much that
Yes.
that we're
Yes.
talking about. What do you think about some of the young folks that kind of feel that way? And when it comes to in the relationships, it kind of comes down to since we're talking about emotions in relationships now, the management,
Mhm.
it comes down to a lot of the young folks in that age feel that when it comes down to it, I got to get mine before you
Get yours.
get
But
yours.
sometimes it's and that's almost like the overriding um, attitude.
Hmm.
But sometimes it goes just a little more simpler than that, and
Hmm.
it is, and we talk about it all the time about this being the selfie generation.
Hmm.
We could also call it the selfish generation
I forgot
because
about that word. Yeah, selfish.
because what it comes down to is I'm gonna take care of me, you take care of you. Don't look to me to take care of you,
Hmm.
and I'm not going to look to you to take care of me because you can't do that. And
Or I don't want you to do
exactly, and that's putting everybody on an island alone.
it. Hmm. Hmm.
And if you're on an island alone, you can't survive because there may be something that you need help with. If
Hmm.
you're on this island all by yourself and your ladder breaks and that's the only one you have,
Hmm.
well, you got to find a way to get to another island and hope you can buy one.
Hmm.
You know, and if not, you're just out of luck.
Yeah.
So here's the point that I'm trying to make
Hmm.
is I think that is a very selfish way to look at it, and
Hmm.
that's one of those things that's going to keep relationships from from growing, keep them in a stagnant position
Hmm.
because I'm all about me. But why am I in a relationship with you if I'm not being concerned about what you need to progress?
Hmm.
And because if I'm progressing and you're either stagnant or you're regressing,
Hmm.
where's our relationship going to be? It's going to be spread apart with a
Hmm.
big cavern in the middle, and that's going to be grounds for other issues that may or may not be able to be solved. And
Exactly.
that's just what I feel about that. I think that is a way to lose your relationship.
Again, as you said, the selfie generation, that concern for a lot of them is not there.
Hmm.
I think the idea of trying to bring friendship into the concept that you can have in a relationship, that you have a right to have in a relationship, and working on that in a relationship gives them the opportunity to have another insight.
Yeah.
Or what is it when you have more than one point of view?
Yes.
Have another point of
Yes.
view, and the other point of view is a point of view that they're already been comfort
Hmm.
with. What comfort with what? Having friends in their life, true friends in
Exactly.
their life. So they have an already experience of having true friends in
Hmm.
their life that it could help out to give a real reference, a memory and thoughts of this with this other
Right.
individual being my lover, being my wife, being my partner, and of course now added on being my friend. Well, I
Hmm.
know how friends act. I know how
Yeah.
friends are. So this particular person, that's something new in my life when it comes to friends. I can expect these things. I can respect these things coming out of them because this is what I had with friends
Hmm.
before, and
Yeah.
that's what we use here is friendship as being that basis. Yeah.
Yes. And that's very important. And one of the things that continues to elude a lot of people. And it's not only the selfie generation,
Mm-hmm.
but it's generations before too, because there are people all along for years and years who have
Mm-hmm.
had difficulties making friends. Some people are socially awkward. Some
Mm-hmm.
people um, don't have enough self confidence in themselves
Mm-hmm.
to, go out and become friends. And so they don't know how to react when they get into a relationship. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to do that friendship thing. But you can learn how to be a friend.
Yes.
So it's not that it's all or nothing.
Even when you think about in your relationship, you believed in friendship, but you really had no real experience. It wasn't something special in Black culture was really pushed
Mhm.
whatsoever,
Mhm.
and therefore you were wanting something that was more like a dream
Yes.
and not really a
It was
reality.
an ideal.
Exactly. And many times when we first get into that fall of love thing, that courtship period,
Mhm.
many times we're really running on the drilling of lust. I mean, just be honest
Oh
with you.
yeah.
Most of the
Yeah.
time we're
Yeah.
not. And so the idea of friendship, especially since it came from the standpoint of we don't do that
Mhm.
anyway
Yes.
when we're trying to run this direction, you're not going to necessarily emphasize on that. You're not going to necessarily focus on that. And you get in that relationship the first couple of years, you're doing quite well. At least you feel that way.
Mhm.
Bedroom time almost every time you think about it,
Yeah.
or in the morning because you're running hard in that kind of
Mhm.
area. Kids are not there really to mop up things. And then that kind of slows down. Of, oh, I don't know this about this
Right.
person.
Right.
And then when the kids come in, then you really start getting into that role. Not only I don't know, but I don't have to because all my focus is on children.
Mhm.
And then when what's that time comes when the kids start going,
Empty nest.
the empty nest syndrome comes. Then there's that look of,
Who are you?
I maybe never knew you.
Exactly.
We never did have a close friendship because that's when that friendship really comes.
Mhm.
That lust time, that sex time, that whatever you had left, which was not much of anyway. When the kid's gone, you ain't got nothing left really
Exactly.
anymore.
Exactly.
So that's the time when you got to think about trying to build that friendship.
Yeah.
And this information is going to help you be able to do that. We
Absolutely.
got to go to a commercial real quickly. I'm going to try to move this board as much as I can to get us there. So, folks, bear with us. We'll be getting into things that have to do with intelligence. That's right. We're talking about emotional intelligence, not intellectual intelligence, but emotional intelligence. So, stay with us, and we should be right back. Hey, we are back. We are back. We are back. Hey,
Yes.
there we are. We're back. So, of course, you are hopefully enjoyed the commercials we have out there. Looking for some more commercials for those who may want to go ahead and sponsor our show or other shows. Please get in touch with our platform here. I'm putting at the bottom here again, where you could go through the process of course, actually cash apping some finances to help us out, no doubt about it. But I think there's an address here where they can actually go to right here. Okay, here we go. Please go to this website, and on that website, I'm pretty sure that they have a email address or a telephone number where you can actually go and become a sponsor. As we have some sponsors, we need some more sponsors
Yes.
to be part of All Black Media. This is the way to get the word out. This is the way to get your unique word out. and help us as we try to move and bring this good information that gives you a chance to have the what we call the best of life. How we call it?
Yes, the best out of life.
Yeah, the best out of life, the best out of your life. You'll be living the best of your life if you put these into practices. There's just no doubt about it. It will. Try it, and you can see also for yourself. So let's go back to where we are before. First of all, we need to talk a little bit about us
Where you can
and where
find
we
us.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes.
Well, you know we're on Thursdays at what time?
Thursday, 6 p.m. right here on our Black Media. And on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WRUU. You can find us. It's a radio station. We will be able to hear us talking about pretty.
We're off. Now we're back on again. I don't know what's going on. But,
Yes, and we apologize for that. It's just.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. We're back.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I wanted to get to our next one. Is that the one you didn't talk about? You did WRUU.
Right.
Yeah.
I did WRUU.
But this is a new one.
And you can also contact us at Taking the Journey. Here we go. takingthejourney-together.com. Our email is ttjt@takingthejourney-together.com. And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ttjtogether. We've got Instagram. It's all down there together. And that's where we are.
We'd love to hear from you. Listen, you could also ask questions. Also give us your testimonies that have to do in life, how life is treating you or how you're treating life in your relationships. Maybe you have been listening to us for a while and you've tried some of the things like the HOT principle. You tried some of the things that like bridge statements. You tried some of the things that like that how to be a lot more understanding of your love languages with your mate. You tried some of the many elements that we have actually put out, or the knowledge or the information that we put out. And we'd love to hear some testimonies of what you have tried and how it has worked in your relationship. I remember just last week, Dr. Frazier talked about how he applied a emotional intelligence in a situation that had to do with
his
car. No, the car, his wife's car. Exactly. And how he used one of the techniques to help out. And his technique on this case was using one of the self-awareness or empathy, to be exact, that had to do with putting himself in his wife's shoes. If this was his car, he would feel uncomfortable without going in detail. And many times when it comes to emotional intelligence, one of the things that we talked about and we'll talk about again is the elements that need to be applied and in your journey of being emotional intelligent is empathy. I mean, empathy's got to be a big, strong foundation of
definitely.
it. So empathy is having the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, or that Native Americans saying putting yourself in someone else's moccasins. So having that empathy as part of your emotional intelligence is very, very important. And that usually means you have to get past that. I only mostly think about myself first and only.
Right.
And that other person is on their own in that relationship.
Exactly.
That mentality is at a lower level or lower grade, if you want to call emotional intelligence. As you move up in your emotional intelligence, meaning you get more intelligent when it comes to dealing with your emotions, then empathy, which is one of those emotions, is going to be at a higher level.
Right.
And you'll be leveling up a little bit more. And therefore, you'll put yourself in someone else's shoes. Hopefully, if it's the one you care about and you love, that should be an easy thing to do. But it's not necessarily.
Not necessarily. No. Because sometimes you need to put yourself in their shoes, but you can't quite do it because you haven't had the same life experiences as them, and you don't quite understand it. That's that point where you need to learn how to back off and say, sweetheart, please explain to me what you're going through, and hopefully that they'll be in a place where they can calm themselves or move themselves to a point that they know you're being genuine and they can help you by finding the words to explain it.
Folks out there, we also are life coaches and relationship coaches. So if there's anything that you may want to talk to us about our relationship, again, we give you that email address. I'll give it to you again. You can always get a hold of us through our email address, and we'd be glad to talk with you offline to help you move in the direction that you want to go to make your relationship better, to make your relationship as a higher element, or what they call level up. We'd be glad to help you out with that. So get a hold of us there, and we'll be glad to work with you on that matter. But on that note that you're just saying, say that again the last time. I think it was important for people to hear.
I was saying that sometimes, there is a situation that you can't put yourself in.
Listen, great information. Yeah.
Thank
you. Thank you very much.
You can't put yourself in the other person's position, so
Mhm.
you can't be empathetic to them at that particular moment because you haven't had that
Same
life experience. And
Yeah.
so you don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the case, you need to be able to be strong enough to
Mhm.
admit you don't know everything and you
Mhm.
don't understand everything. And you need to be able to ask them, could you please explain to me what you're feeling right now?
Mm-hmm.
And do it in such a way that they know that you're being sincere and not just being flippant with it.
Exactly, especially if before you really haven't been that serious,
Mhm.
and they can tell from the past how you've been relating to them. It's been mostly about yourself,
Yes.
but all of a sudden you're trying to change because you're seeing a real revelation of a change
And the
or
need.
intellectual need to change
Yes.
this way, to move and expand, to put something better in my relationship. You're going to have to, come out and ask them,
Mhm.
can you please tell me?
Yes.
Swallow your pride enough. And say, I need to understand that. Now, I do know when I did some counseling before in another life, I know they used to have this game that would be played, putting yourself in someone else's
Yes,
shoes.
the role
Okay,
reversals.
and then when it was the emotional side that mating times have us wrapped up when it comes to anger and rage,
Mhm.
they would give the little bop sticks. I know, folks, it was no real wood, it was no real metal, because otherwise people would be going to the hospital and some people would be dead.
Now they use pool noodles.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they called noodles?
I don't know what they call
I those long
Yeah.
pool
them. Well, the
things.
bob sticks look like little bats, but they were all with nothing but cloth inside of
Yeah.
them, and you could beat some people in the back, beat them in the head. Usually, when I used to do this, I would always let the wife go first, or the mate who was female go first, and the poor guys, they would beat that shoot out of them. And I would say, see, that's how they really been feeling about you, and you just been getting away with it.
But see, and you need to ask so that it doesn't get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be.
But that's the point.
Exactly.
There's
no asking.
There was no asking, no
No,
thought about it.
no.
You just do it.
Yes.
It's just how that went,
Yeah.
and they pinned up their anger inside.
Exactly. So, and one of the things that as we move into
Mm-hmm.
the
Some of the other tips that have to
Yes.
do with being good or moving into expanding
Mhm.
emotional intelligence. I think we talked about active listening. Didn't we talk about last time?
Yes, I think we touched on active listening.
Mm-hmm.
My mouth got caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we touched on active listening,
Mhm.
active living.
You just
Why do I
can't.
keep
I
saying
don't know,
that?
because you got to be active in your living.
Yes.
Anyway, how
Yes.
about conflict resolution? Oh, we talk about that.
Conflict resolution.
It plays a vital role in resolving conflicts in relationship. It involves the ability to navigate disagreements and challenges with empathy, understanding, and respect. Got to hold those three keys:
Yes.
empathy,
Mhm.
understanding, and respect. Respect doesn't mean you always are going to agree with it.
Exactly.
But because of the position that they're in, meaning this is a person, like in this case, my
Mhm.
wife or husband,
Yes.
who I in turn have placed in my life to be someone that I respect. Hopefully that's what you did.
Yes.
Then therefore respect means they are there as a role.
Mhm.
They are there as an entity. They are there as an image, and out of the image I care about. I'm gonna give an example real quickly to those who are listening, because some
Okay.
people say, well, if they don't give no respect, I ain't gonna get no respect. I'm not gonna give respect, and I understand that.
Yes.
I've had said that to a couple of people who say, I'm not saying what they sex they were, that say, well, you better give me respect. I go, well, respect goes both ways in this case. But there's one time I was working in a call center, a big call center, and there was this young guy who basically had a problem in a relationship, or his past relationship, mainly with his family, his African-American brother. And every day he would try to just talk about me in this call center for a whole bunch of people, especially a whole bunch of black folks and white folks, mainly because I would talk about, at this time, my first marriage, my kids, and talk about how their troubles I was having, talk about how I was doing, the kind of following thing with him. He would always dog me all the time about it. Made me upset. I mean, to the point I almost wanted to kick his, you know what, but something told me inside, no, just hold back, emotional control.
Yeah.
And so one day I caught him out in the hallway. I was going to tear him up, but he came up to me face to face in the hallway. He started spitting some stuff. Now, I don't know why you act like you were square. I don't know why you act like you were so good father and all that stuff. And I was thinking to myself, why is this young brother giving me a hard time? For what reason? I never did nothing to him whatsoever. Long story short, something came to my mind real quickly. Sometimes you have to listen to what's inside you and let wisdom talk through you. And I said to this young man, I said, listen, man, as you get on me and give me a hard time in front of all these folks, I'm in a position in life as a black man, especially, where I'm taking care of my wife the best I can and my kids. And most of the time, that's looked upon as being respect and being respectful in my position in life and what other people are seeing about me. And so with you who don't have that position, and you are then getting on me, who most of the time society would, at least in the call center especially, looked at me as being respect. What do you think they think about you? He stopped for a minute and paused for a minute and didn't say nothing to me. For the whole day, he wouldn't pay attention to me. For the whole day, he just walked around like there was something just moving inside him, just tumbling around inside him. Well, to make a long story short, we didn't talk much after that. I didn't see him from that on. If he got fired or when it happened to him. But one day I was flying back into Kansas City. That's where I was in Kansas City living. I was flying back for some other particular job I had flying in. I happened to catch him flying in or flying out, and he stopped me. He said, "Hey, Mr. Butts, Mr. Butts." Oh, shoot, he's calling me Mr. Butts. This is really serious now. I just want to tell you something. Do you remember that yada, 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 yada time that I did what I did? I said, yeah, I'm holding my emotions in this time. Wonder what this young brother can me do in front of all these folks. He said, I want to tell you something. You helped me out that day. You straightened out something inside me. I had no business getting on you. And I saw at that particular time, I'm paraphrasing, that it was really me who had the problem, not you. And so I just want to tell you something. I have not had a good relationship with my father for years. And everything you were doing is what I wanted my father to do for me. And I was not getting it. So I took it out on you. And I'm really sorry I did that. And I want you to forgive me for doing that. Man, I was almost in tears. I couldn't believe it. In front of all these people in the airport, this brother's dropping this down on me like that. But I should say, I gave him the usual dap as we do as brothers do, and told him to go in peace, and said, you need to try to make up things with your father and really control your emotion, talking about emotional intelligence, and try to forgive him and not carry that with you, because one day you might be a father. At the time he wasn't a father, and we let that go by. Long story short, because we'll get into of this, is that his father happened to be a pioneering father in the area of television. Many black men have had a chance coming from off the street of the hood from my days. I'm older than both of y'all. I'm at the end of the baby boomers, and we've had a chance to get into the TV and the publishing media at a time where affirmative action said there needs to be us there. I don't know about it now. And so we got many opportunities to get in there, even if we didn't have the education, but we caught on real quickly, especially since it was something we loved to be involved with.
And back then, there was on-the-job training.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
On-the-job training was a big thing, especially since everybody else on the job who was not looking like us had on-the-job training to get there in the first place. Because there's nobody doing no college training. There's nobody doing any kind of that technical stuff in the first place. So it was always who I knew, what I knew, that got you on the job and you got trained. But the bottom line is, in this case, was his father was well known in that media, behind the scene, winning cameras, winning all that stuff that most African Americans weren't supposed to run, but he did, and did it very, 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 very well. He did not do well in his relationship with his son. And this was the son. So can you imagine the son having a famous father that everybody knows, especially in the community, who is but yet he really wasn't really paying much attention to his son? You can tell that was eating him up. And he couldn't control his emotions well. So that's one of the examples there, how emotional control, on this case, emotional intelligence, can help you out in a relationship,
Yes.
and at the same time help you better your own self. If you're in a relationship where you had somebody like a mom or a dad that in turn really wasn't being loving to yourself, and you got that emotions inside of help and anger and all, hate and anger inside you.
And in that case, you not only
Mhm.
resolve the conflict between you and him,
Mhm.
but you also resolve the conflict, the internal conflict that he had towards his father. So that was some real conflict resolution.
You're welcome. We have
Thank
no
you, thank
problem
you.
giving this kind of guidance out to help people freely. Make sure you share it, let other people know. And if you have a school, you got a church, you got a hotel, that thing. Oh, okay, we're back on again. Kinds of teachings that we provide to help and pass on to young folks and pass out to the people that
Young
you think
folks,
they need it.
older folks, any folks that
Yeah.
need to or want to raise their relationships to the next level.
Yeah, again, right there, going to the email right there. You see at the bottom, email us to us, get it to us, and we will definitely get back with you and make sure that we spread this good information on to be a help to others. What's the next one we have up there? We did the conflict resolution.
The next one is emotional
support. Wow.
It entails being supportive and available for your partner when they need, I'm going to say that again, when they need emotional comfort or reassurance.
Now, why are we not surprised that a sister will say that when you need?
Well, because
I know that there's a lot of boom, it went out just in time, so I didn't say that. But anyway, it was a concern you had in life from that end. But I was referring to the old traditional one that we come from, which is the emotions that you have as a female is not a concern that a male is going to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Just you say you're too emotional. Stop crying or stop trying to whine. That's what I was referring to. I know it's kind of changed now, as we said. A lot of sisters are independent. Some brothers say they're acting more like males too, and all that good stuff. So there's a difference, but I was kind of referring to that side.
Yeah. I get that. But see, the thing of it is, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and that is definitely true, and that is definitely a point of concern. But I said that because in this, what I just spoke, it did not say when female needs emotional comfort, when male needs. You may need emotional support and comfort just as well as I may need it sometimes. And the important thing is for me to realize when you need it, you to realize when I need it. It goes both ways. It's like respect, going both ways. That statement says it goes both ways. You're looking at your partner, no matter who you are in the relationship, which one of you in the relationship, you need to be aware of when your partner needs emotional comfort and reassurance.
And when you really get connected to your partner in that kind of spiritual way, which we're going to talk about, that has to do with that many times, that has to do with empathy or being empathetic, not empathetic, empathic is cool, but being what again? Really want okay, or emotionally sensitive, which is another way. Both of those ways, I was lost my thought.
I know.
But both of those ways are something that many times we're not taught or told as being a healthy way to be. Whether you're a male or female. So presenting that in a relationship where you both look at this as something that we both will support, if you not have really been taught that or presented it to you, you're not going to do it. No. You're just not going to bring it up.
And as you said, this involves offering empathy, validation, and understanding
Mhm.
during challenging times.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so those three things: empathy, validation,
Mhm.
and understanding. You need to offer those during those times.
Let's look at another one because we got a little time left. Social awareness. Social awareness involves being attuned to the emotions and needs of others in the social situation. Now we're moving away from just ourselves.
Hmm.
We're moving to others.
Yes,
When I start connecting you, I'm making you part of what? A social setup.
exactly.
Because it's more than just you.
Mhm.
Now I'm not talking about this your kids. No, I'm not talking about your mommy and your daddy or your aunts. I'm talking about
all the neighbors or your best
we're
friends.
talking about your first relationship that you're first connected to. That's what we're talking about. That makes it a social connection, not a by yourself connection.
Yes.
So this includes your partner.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say. It includes your partner.
Exactly.
It includes real nonverbal what? Cues.
Yes.
Okay. And understanding social dynamics, adjusting your behavior to maintain a positive what? Interaction. I think that's the hardest thing that we have in our relationships many times is to keep positive
Yes.
interaction. Our life on the outside that kind of moves against us makes it very hard. Give me an example that you can think of that has happened before. Or you were getting ready to say something else. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just getting ready to say that the positive interaction is probably one of the hardest things to do, because when we are in those emotional periods, it's hard for us to get past our hurt, our upset, our unfairness, or whatever is directly impacting us. But that's when we really need to try to pull it together and realize that not everything is about us. That's like, every now and then you have to say to somebody, I know life centers around you as far as you're concerned, but not everything is about you first. And that's one of those things that you have to say it in the nicest possible way. An example of a time when that happened, um, I will. This one does not have to do with us in relationship, but it has to do with somebody else in relationship, and that was just a few days ago when I was upset about something, and I sent a message to my sister, and she came back with, she didn't like my tone, and I had to let her know that was me and my emotions. It didn't have a thing to do with her, and if I can't express my emotions and you see it for, this is an upsetting thing, and I know she gets upset and she
shows her emotions.
Exactly. then there's a problem, there's a breakdown, because it's going to be hard for us to communicate, and that happens in relationships a lot. You can't stifle your partner's emotional experiences, because then, as you said, you hold it in, and it builds up, and it builds up animosity and all these other
Unless
things.
they're shouting at you in an abusive way,
Yeah, see, that's a
and
different thing.
then it becomes overboard. Now, I'm only bringing that up because you made a blanket statement, and we know with
You're right.
taking the journey together, we're always trying to emphasize a balance.
Exactly.
So a balance doesn't mean that's all one side.
Yes.
So you're speaking of that other side that has to do with not someone coming at you verbally, not someone coming at you aggressively, and then you're going, oh, that's okay, that's right. No, we're not talking about that, because that's where the respect comes in and says you don't really do that. We have those times. Even you and I have had those times in the past, no doubt about it. As we learn to move through it and adjust it in such a way where your emotions are then more intact with that empathy and that particular care and that respect, then you find yourself to, as they say, I would say, you level up, but at the same time, you notch yourself down. The same way that we talk about what the police are supposed to do, which is what?
De-escalate.
Notice I said what we're supposed to do. But anyway, de-escalate.
Yes, you level up and you level out.
Exactly. Oh, I like that. Level out. That was good.
Yes.
Good.
So, we got just like a couple more minutes.
Yes, we do. So you want to continue on the next one?
Yes. Trust and
intimacy.
Intimate.
Not,
Trust and intimacy. Yeah, I was thinking, did I skip one?
no,
So
because
that's
you were
what-
thinking like me. Trust and obey. That's no other way. We stay hear that song. Was it an old church song or something?
I have no idea. I missed that one, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I either didn't go to church that Sunday or I fell
No,
asleep.
because you were like, no, you were like, I'm a sister girl. I ain't doing that obey shit.
No,
Anyway,
I grew up
anyway it goes, to me, it was a
Yes.
plantation mindset.
Yeah.
But back to
Emotional
here, trust in
yes.
intimacy.
It contributes to building trust and fostering intimacy in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It involves being vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
open, and trustworthy,
Yeah.
as well as recognizing and respecting your partner's boundaries.
Do you know that vulnerable, openness, and trustworthy is the same match for our saying called being hot?
Yes.
And what does hot mean, Sharon?
Honest, open, and transparent.
That's what hot means for us. If you're going to be a hot person in a thriving, healthy relationship, you have to be honest, open, and transparent. You might as well plug those same words in, because you got to be vulnerable.
Yes.
You got to be open.
Yes.
You definitely got to be trustworthy. Most people, well,
Yeah,
they're
and
that's the
trustworthy
thing. Because
yes.
think about it, most people are not trans.
Yeah. Keep them guessing.
Yeah.
That is the stupidest thing that people say,
That comes from that tribal kind of concept a lot of the young people have. I'm going to get them before they get me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, in turn, be that way. I definitely want to see all your cards before you see mine. And if I see your cards, I want to make sure at the end I'm able to win from that end. So the idea of being transparent, now, some people might say that is being like a simp, or some people, question that. But anyway, people might say that you're being too nice, you're being too open. And, when you think about all those things, if that's happening in your relationship, you're not moving in a balanced relationship anymore.
No.
You're mostly in a survival relationship.
Yes.
Where both of you are antagonistic between one another.
Right.
Both of you are not really friends with one another. Both of you are battling between one another. You're really not trying to move to be more as one and in unity. So that's just, I guess, is understandable.
Yeah, you're totally out of balance and have no sense of coming into balance.
And your emotional intelligence is definitely going to be low from that end.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be fighting and drama all the time with no problem from that end. Yeah.
And guess what?
What's that?
I have some bad news.
What's that?
We're at the end of our
Oh,
show
yeah.
time.
Oh, shoot. We are. We're over it, too, by the way.
Yes.
I didn't even see that because this is 58. My eyes couldn't see. Well, folks, we'd love to have seen you there. We're glad to see you there. I'm going to look at the camera for a second, but they're looking down. We're glad to see you there and here into our next time, which will be next Thursday
at 6 o'clock.
At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, Dr. Frazier will be back in the house with us, and hopefully we'll be ending this very good I think knowledge and that was like a good 5-star dinner when it comes to handling your emotions, because we're emotional people. All of us are emotional people. We just got to be able to handle emotions with that management that's necessary for us to expand and grow and have a good, balanced relationship. Am I right?
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, so how should we end this?
Until next week, take the journey together.
All right.
I like that.